That's right. We are live for a second straight day. Yesterday, we did a live stream for the first half of the Georgia-Florida game. And today, we are live as the Indianapolis Colts come into Acrisure Stadium, formerly known as Heinz Field, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to take on the 4-3 Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, in my opinion, this game is the biggest of the day. I know that later on we've got a huge matchup between Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, and that both those teams are looking up in their respective divisions. Mahomes and the Chiefs are looking up at Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. They will be playing each other in just a couple weeks in the Rocky Mountains in Denver. And then you've got the Buffalo Bills looking up at the New England Patriots. The Patriots already went into Buffalo and beat the Bills. And so the Bills still have to come to Foxborough to take on the Patriots at Gillette Stadium. I, right now, do not have Patrick Mahomes in my top 5 in terms of MVP right now. Let me say that again. Patrick Mahomes, the 3-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, and he has not been eliminated until at least the AFC Championship every year since he started. I understand that, but right now, I don't have him as a top 5 MVP candidate. My MVP candidates in terms of top 5 are at number 1 from the New England Patriots, Drake May. He has come in and played amazing in this Patriots offense. Now that he's got Josh McDaniels as his offensive coordinator, he is spreading the ball around to Stephon Diggs, Booty, Hunter Henry. They've got the running game going with Ramondre Stevenson. I'd like to see them use Travion Henderson more, but that defense is flying around. And if I could cast a ballot for MVP right now, my number 1 would be to Drake May. At number 2, and it's apropos that we're doing a live stream for the Colts and Steelers as the Colts are set to kick it away, which means the Steelers get the ball first. But my number 2 MVP candidate, Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor has had a major impact on the Colts offense as the Steelers get it. Gainwell gets a good return. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Williams, as Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers offense take the field. Aaron Rodgers this season has thrown 16 touchdown passes, tied for most by a Steelers quarterback in a season since 2022. That's saying something. His last 3 games, 234.3 passing yards per game, 8 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Let's see if the Steelers can get their running game going with Jaylen Warren. And can another wide receiver emerge? Play action. Oh, he had Jonnu Smith wide open on that play and just completely missed him. But like I said, in terms of my MVP right now, Drake May is number 1 by a wide margin. Number 2, Jonathan Taylor. I think he has like 7 or 8 touchdowns so far this season. I might be way off. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I know Daniel Jones has had a major impact as the Colts quarterback. Don't worry, I'll get to him in a second. But would he be playing the same if they didn't have Jonathan Taylor? What type of pass is that? DK Metcalf, their big acquisition from Seattle. So Pittsburgh has the second worst time of possession in the NFL at just about 27 and a half. And the Colts have allowed the 6th fewest points per game, 24th but they're 24th in total defense, which is interesting. Lou Anarumo is their defensive coordinator. Of course, he was also the defensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals. The Steelers, of course, are coming off of losing at home on Sunday Night Football against Aaron Rodgers' former team, as that third down pass goes absolutely nowhere. Indianapolis gets a quick stop. But here's my top 5. Drake May, Jonathan Taylor, Daniel Jones, Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford. Those are my top 5. Number 6 for me, just outside my top 5, Sam Darnold. He has come in and the Seahawks seem to be clicking on all cylinders, although I think you could make a stronger argument for Jackson Smith and Jigba, but for some reason, the MVP award doesn't go to wide receivers. So, honestly, we might as well just change the name of the MVP to best quarterback, because it seems like it goes to a quarterback just about every year, which pisses me off. Daniel Jones, in his last 4 starts, he has games with 2+. In his last 4 games, he's thrown at least 2 touchdowns. That's crazy. Pass. Nice. And that's to Alec Pierce. And you know what's interesting is when Brandon and I did our NFL predictions, of course, he and I did that at Championship Rings, which airs every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Make sure you tune in. But I thought the Colts would be the worst team in the AFC, whether they started Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones. I just didn't think they had enough offensively, and I didn't really trust their defense. Yet here they are at 7-1 as they run it with Jonathan Taylor and don't really get anything. And this is an interesting aspect. TJ Watt and Ian Eagle are on the call for this game. And, quick update from Bears-Bengals. And, Jones takes it 98 yards for an opening kickoff touchdown. Bengals lead the Bears 7-0. But here we go. Daniel Jones takes the snap, looks to pass. That is an incomplete. So, like I said, it is Ian Eagle and TJ Watt, or JJ Watt rather, on the call for this game. And who plays defense for the Steelers? JJ Watt's brother, TJ. So that's kind of interesting. But, like I said, it is Colts Steelers today, 3rd and 11 for Indy. In my opinion, this should not be a game that happens every 3 or 4 years. This should be the first of 2 meetings between the Colts and Steelers. Oh! Daniel Jones with a beautiful pass to Alec Pierce for the first down. But yes, the Indianapolis Colts should be in the AFC North. In my opinion, the AFC North should be the Cleveland Browns, the Detroit Lions. I did think about putting the Chicago Bears in there, but the Browns, the Lions, the Bengals, and the Steelers. Or if you want to realign it a different way, you could do the Great Lakes division and have it be the Bears, the Browns, the Lions, and the Bills. Oh, Alec Pierce again! Dang, Daniel Jones is just dealing right now. So those are my 2 ideas for realignment. I know with the first one, it would break up the best rivalry in the NFL. There's no questions asked. Steelers-Ravens is by far and away the best rivalry in the NFL. For me, it is a top 3 rivalry in all of sports alongside Ohio State, Michigan in college football, And yes, North Carolina and Duke in college basketball. Anytime North Carolina and Duke play, I'm watching Daniel Jones. Incomplete. But yes, I want the Indianapolis Colts in the AFC North. They don't. Indianapolis is not in the South. So the fact that they are in a division with Jacksonville, Houston, and Tennessee makes absolutely zero sense. It makes no sense whatso freaking ever. The Colts should be in the AFC North alongside the Browns and the Bengals. And I would argue that the Lions should be in the division with the Browns. That's just me. But here we go. 2nd and 10. Jones looks to pass. Get completed to Josh Downs. And it'll be 3rd down now for Indy. And I would expect Pittsburgh's going to bring some type of pressure. But hold on. We got an injury on the field. And it's Darius Slay, the former Philadelphia Eagle. He, of course, won the Super Bowl last year with the Eagles. Let's see what happens on this one. I can't. Alex Highsmith has already left the game for the Steelers, and now Darius Slay is out. But, it's fitting that the Colts are playing the Steelers this weekend because it is, ironically, the 20-year anniversary of the Steelers winning Super Bowl 40 against the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Seahawks fans, I think, are still bitter about that Super Bowl because the reffing in that game was kind of wacky and it felt a bit rigged towards the Steelers. But nonetheless, en route to playing and winning Super Bowl 40, who did the Steelers play? Oh, yeah, that's right. They went on the road and beat the Indianapolis Colts thanks to a game-winning tackle by Big Ben Roethlisberger. Of course, as a Cleveland Browns fan, I am very familiar with Big Ben. He basically made Huntington Bank Field or Cleveland Browns Stadium, whatever you want to call it, he basically made it his second home because anytime the Steelers came to Cleveland, he found a way to win. And on that note, for me, Steelers Browns, not a rivalry, not at all. Nope. For it to be a rivalry, guess what? The games actually have to have some importance. Outside of, I don't know, the wild card round in Pittsburgh, the Browns haven't beaten the Steelers in Pittsburgh since 2003. And I'm talking about regular season games. I've been to a Steelers game in Pittsburgh. It's one of the best stadiums in the NFL. Of the stadiums I've been to, Lumen Field, Huntington Bank Field, Hard Rock Stadium, and Acrisure, I'd put it number 2 behind Lumen. I would go, in terms of the stadiums I've been to, I would go Lumen, I would go Acrisure, I would go Hard Rock, and then I would go Huntington Bank Field. So yes, I have the Brown Stadium last. For me, it is the stadium from hell. I hate going there. Due to personal reasons, I will not be going to any more Browns games this season. So for week 11 against the Ravens, I will not be there. For week 13 against the 49ers, I'm not going to be in attendance. Week 14 against the Titans, maybe that's where Shedeur Sanders makes his Browns debut. Although it seems like there's a better chance of number 4 starting. Thou shalt not say his name. But the Colts are going for it. 4th and 1. And it looks like they're. I thought they were going for the tush push, but I think they got it with Jonathan Taylor. But week 14 against the Titans, I know it's Cam Ward. He was the number 1 overall pick. Sorry, that's not enough to get me to go. I will be out of town in West Palm Beach when Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills come to town, so I won't be able to go to that game anyway in week 16. And then in week 17, we host the Steelers, and I will not be going to that game. And hopefully I'll be able to return to games next season. Ironically, the Browns play the Colts next season here in Cleveland because the AFC North plays the AFC South. So this is the first of 2 straight years that the Steelers and the Colts are going to be playing each other. Oh, that should have been picked. Oh, TJ, you should have had that. Casey Hayward with a very nice knockdown, but TJ, you should have had that pick. But it is 2nd and goal now. Taylor, did he get there? I don't think so. He didn't quite get there. So that'll set up 3rd and goal now for the Colts. I know that this season is still going, but the Browns are 2-6. They are not going to dig themselves out of this hole. But here we go. 3rd and goal. Colts have it at like the 2-inch line or something. I would expect them to just hand this all to Jonathan Taylor and punch this in. They do nope, play action. And it is knocked down. Oh, they had Tyler Warren, but it is knocked down. I think it was Casey Hayward again, actually. So it is 4th and goal. Just about 8 minutes left in the first quarter. They've done 3 rushes, 9 passes. This drive has taken up 5 minutes. Touchdown, Colts. I think that was a quarterback sneak by Daniel Jones. And the number 1 offense in the NFL punches it in. Yes, it was Daniel Jones. Just a straight QB run. And the Steelers defense really didn't put up much of a fight on that play. But like I said, I wish the Colts and Browns were in the same division, because when these 2 teams play each other, it's usually a really fun matchup as the Colts kick the extra point. So that makes it 7-0 in favor of Indianapolis. Daniel Jones made some beautiful passes on that drive to Alec Pierce. And Daniel Jones finishes it off himself by running into the end zone. 7-0 Colts. But yeah, I wish the Browns and Colts were in the same division. In my opinion, they have a bit of a rivalry because those games usually come down to the final seconds. I remember the 2014 game here in Cleveland when the Colts came on. The Browns were pushing to try and make the playoffs. And that game against the Colts was super important in the Browns playoff push. But, Andrew Luck and the Colts made a massive comeback and came all the way back to beat the Browns. And, of course, back in 2007, Cleveland defeated San Francisco in Week 17. And all they needed was for the Colts to beat the Tennessee Titans on Sunday Night Football, and that would allow the Browns to get into the playoffs. But the Colts decided to rest most of their guys, and Vince Young was the quarterback for the Titans, and Tennessee won, meaning Cleveland was kept out of the playoffs. So, yeah, the Colts and Browns, in my opinion, I mean, do you remember what happened last time we played each other in Indianapolis? It was a controversial ending. The Browns managed to win that game. Speaking of Indianapolis, I am looking into going to the men's Final Four in 2026, which will be at Lucas Oil Stadium, home of the Indianapolis Colts. I don't have confirmation on that, but that is my plan right now, is to go to Indianapolis for the men's Final Four. I haven't decided if I would go to the championship game or the two semifinal games. But if it happens, of course, I will take you along for the ride. But I don't want to say yes, it's for sure happening, or no, it's for sure not happening. I don't know right now. I'm still in the planning phase. But it is currently 7-0 Colts, 8:05 left. That last scoring drive went 13 plays, 79 yards, just about 5 minutes as the Colts kick it off to the Steelers. And let's see if this drive goes any better for Indianapolis. Or, I'm sorry, for Pittsburgh. I'm getting myself tongue-tied. By the way, I will probably only be able to do the first half of this game because I have to get to Rocket Arena tonight to see the Atlanta Hawks take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Hawks will be without Trae Young. We shall see if the Cavaliers get Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, and Sam Merrill back. They are all game time decisions. All of them were out of the lineup against the Toronto Raptors. And we lost on Friday against Toronto, 112-101. That was our first home loss of the season. But at the same time, it was only our second home game of the season. So the Cavs ended the month of October at 3-3. But nonetheless, it is 2nd and 7 now for the Steelers. So here we go. How did the Steelers bounce back after giving up 35 points last week against the Green Bay Packers? Rodgers sends a man in motion. They hand it off to Jaylen Warren, and it doesn't really go anywhere. With just about 7 minutes left in the first quarter, it is 7-0 Indianapolis. Like I said, this should be a divisional matchup. They should be playing each other later in the season in Indianapolis. But it is not. Oh, Caleb Williams, I think, caught the touchdown, and the Bears are tied with the Bengals 7-7. By the way, that 2024 quarterback draft class is looking like it could be historically great. It depends a little bit on what happens with J.J. McCarthy, who is making his return today against the Detroit Lions. Rodgers back to pass, and he goes down. I think that was Latu. Yes, it was. And Indianapolis gets the stop again, and Pittsburgh's defense looks completely out of sorts right now. Aaron Rodgers really had nowhere to go on that one. And we got 6 minutes left in the first quarter, 7-0 Colts. And the Steelers have to punt. Oh, that nearly got blocked. Oh, fumble. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. I think. Is that touchdown, Pittsburgh? No, I don't think. They're not ruling it a touchdown for the Steelers. They are not. Let's see. Oh, that did touch the Colts player. So, yeah, that is going to be Pittsburgh ball, but I don't think they're allowed to advance it. So it'll be Pittsburgh ball 1st and 10, but I think it's going to be where the Steelers picked it up, as I understand it. So the Steelers catch a huge break because that last offensive drive really went nowhere. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Steelers. Like I said, they come in 4-3 on the season, having lost 2 in a row against the Bengals and the Packers. prior to those two losses, they destroyed the Cleveland Browns, but the Browns suck, so that's really not saying much. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Stefanski gets fired. I'm not advocating for that, but it wouldn't be surprising. It wouldn't be surprising if Andrew Berry also gets fired. If there was a way we could fire Jimmy Haslam and get a new owner, that would be fantastic. Because Jimmy Haslam has been a horrible owner for the Browns. He has completely run the team into the ground. I believe he was the one that wanted to get rid of Baker Mayfield. I believe he's the one who wanted to trade for thou who shall not be named, but he wears number 4. Handoff. DK cannot get the angle. And Kenny Moore with the nice play, 3rd down. And I believe he's the one who forced the Browns to draft Shedeur Sanders. That was almost like a jet sweep. And Kenny Moore made a very nice play. It would be a big win for the Colts defense if they can hold Pittsburgh to a field goal on this one. But it is 3rd and 3 now. Steelers so far are 0 for 2 in terms of 3rd down conversion. Colts are 1 for 2. They send a man in motion. Freiermuth is the man in motion and is incomplete. They tried to get it to the big tight end, Darnell Washington. No. Let's see this again. Oh, he had it in his hands. Oh, he couldn't quite hold on to it, man. And so Pittsburgh, I think, is going to kick the field goal. Let's see. Nope. I stand corrected. The Steelers are actually going for this. Okay. Aaron Rodgers, incomplete. And so the Colts defense holds again. So Pittsburgh catches the break on the punt, and they can't cash in. I wonder when the Steelers are going to play Renegade. I would love to go to a Steelers game and see them play Renegade. When I was there back in 2015, Johnny Manziel was our starting quarterback. So there was no need for the Steelers to play Renegade. Ironically, Landry Jones started that game for the Steelers, but he got injured. So Big Ben came in and, well, he went on to have a really nice game. Steelers crushed the Browns. What else is new? I actually, even though I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, and I know some Browns fans, if you're watching, are probably going to hate me for saying this, but I wanted to get a terrible towel. Not because I'm a Steelers fan. I am not. Although the Steelers are the team I respect the most in the AFC North. And I have no hatred towards the Steelers at all. The Steelers are the only team in the NFL who legitimately have 6 Super Bowls. I'm sorry, New England, but you do not. I believe a couple of your Super Bowls are illegitimate, but that's neither here nor there. The Rooneys have been fantastic owners for the Steelers. They've only had 3 head coaches in 40 years, going from Bill Cowher to Mike Tomlin, and I think it's Chuck Noll who was there before Bill Cowher, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, you have the great tradition of Renegade, and then you have the terrible towel. And I personally think it's so cool that the Steelers have their logo only on one side of the helmet and the other side is just black. I think that is so cool. So in my opinion, the Steelers I respect the Steelers the most in the AFC North. Although I am a Cleveland Browns fan, there's a difference. But it is currently 7-0 7-0 Colts. Steelers just turned it over on downs. So the Colts have it, but they are deep in their own territory. So let's see how Indy gets out of this one. And they have the terrible towels waving. First and 10. Daniel Jones in the shotgun. Back to pass. He's got to get this off. He does. And he gets it to Alec Pierce, who has been his primary target so far in this game. I'm surprised. Oh, wait, there's a flag. What's the penalty? Alex Highsmith is back in. Oh, illegal formation against the Colts. Michael Pittman. Oh, Alex Highsmith and Darius Slay are both back in for the Steelers. That's huge for them defensively. But remains first and 10 for the Colts for just about 4 minutes left in the first quarter. I'm going to try and stream as much of this game as I can, but I don't want to make any promises that I can do this whole game. They just hand it off because they want to get it out of their own end zone and avoid being called for a safety, which is probably the smart play anyway. They run it with Jonathan Taylor, my number 2 MVP candidate. I would put him number 1, but again, the quarterbacks seem to win MVP all the time, whether it's league MVP or Super Bowl MVP. The last time somebody else besides a quarterback won league MVP might have been when Adrian Peterson won it back in like 2013 or something. And I think the last time a non-quarterback won Super Bowl MVP was Julian Edelman back in Super Bowl 53. But it is 3rd down and 6 now for the Colts. Colts trying to put a good drive together and get out of their own territory. We got just about 2:40 left in the first quarter. Colts are probably at about the 8-yard line or so. Jones back to pass, completes it. Josh Downs. And that's a bit of redemption for Josh Downs because he's the one who muffed the punt return that allowed Pittsburgh to get it deep in Colts territory. But again, Pittsburgh couldn't do anything with it. So that's a bit of redemption for Josh Downs. And we got about 2 minutes left here in the first quarter. Colts have it at about the 12-yard line, play action. Jones looking to pass. And Alec Pierce cannot haul it in. And that's an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10. Colts, of course, are the number 1 offense in the NFL. And the Steelers, rather, are coming off of giving up 35 points to Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. By the way, today, Jordan Love turns 27. So happy birthday, Jordan Love. But here's what's interesting. And I'm sure Tom Grossi has mentioned this over on his live stream for the Panthers and the Packers today. But how old was Aaron Rodgers when he won his lone Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers? He was 27. How old was Brett Favre when he won his lone Super Bowl with the Packers? He was 27. We'll see if the Packers can finish this off with Jordan Love. And if he gets his Super Bowl at 27, I predicted the Packers would defeat the Baltimore Ravens in Super Bowl 60. My co-host Brandon over at Championship Rings predicted the Bills to defeat the Packers in Super Bowl 60. So we both have the Packers getting to the Super Bowl. And we've got a huge game next Monday when the Philadelphia Eagles take on the Green Bay Packers. I would expect the Packers to use, I would expect the Eagles. I'm getting myself tongue-tied a little bit. I would expect the Eagles to use like 20 or so tush pushes, because it was the Packers who pushed, ironically, for the tush push to get banned, as the Colts are forced to punt it. No! They go into their bag of tricks and they do a direct snap and they get it first and down. Oh, they fooled everybody on that one, including me. So it is first down Indianapolis. And that is the end of the first quarter at Acrisure Stadium, with the Indianapolis Colts, who come into this game with a record of 7-1, though they really should be 8-0 if A.D. Mitchell just doesn't drop that ball in LA against the Rams at SoFi. They lead the Steelers 7-0. Who again, they are celebrating the 20-year anniversary of the Super Bowl 40 championship team. So Ben Roethlisberger is there, Jerome Bettis, Bill Cowher was there yesterday. Of course, he was with the NFL Today crew for CBS in Buffalo, getting ready for the massive game later today as Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs take on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And even though this is a Colts Steelers live stream, I'll give you my thoughts on that Chiefs Bills game. I know you try to win every game when you're in the NFL, but if I'm the Bills, I'd rather lose this game, because when the Bills have beaten the Chiefs in the regular season, guess what? The Chiefs usually come back and beat the Bills in the postseason. If I remember correctly, the statistic is that Josh Allen is 4-1 against Mahomes in the regular season, but anyway, as I was saying, in terms of this Chiefs Bills game, as we are just about to start the second quarter here in Pittsburgh, Daniel Jones takes the snap, play action, looking to pass. There is a flag on the play, but by the way, is 10-7 in favor of Cincinnati against the Chicago Bears. Oh no, it was a offside on the Colts. That's not a penalty I was expecting to hear. But in terms of this Chiefs Bills game, when Josh Allen has beaten Mahomes in the regular season, guess what usually comes back and happens? Mahomes beats Allen. And it hasn't mattered whether the game's been in Kansas City or in Buffalo. though most of the time the playoff game ends up being in Kansas City, which I believe allows the Chiefs to use their black magic. The Colts, by the way, have a massive game coming up in just a few weeks when they will be at Kansas City. It would not surprise me if that game gets flexed into either Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football. Right now, the Colts are not just the number one seed in all of the AFC, but they have the best record in the NFL. Does that mean they are for sure going to go to Super Bowl 60? No, there's still a long way to go. It's only week 9. 2nd and 14. Jones back to pass. Incomplete. Oh, but there's a flag, and it's good. That's either good. That looks like it's going to be pass interference on Joey Porter Jr. Yep, it was pass interference against JPJ. Of course, Joey Porter, his dad, was a longtime Steeler. He was part of that Super Bowl winning team in 2005. But to finish my thought on the Chiefs and the Bills, when Josh Allen has beaten Mahomes in the regular season, Mahomes has come back and beaten Allen in the playoffs. So maybe if you reverse it, if Mahomes and the Chiefs win today, maybe that would allow for Allen and the Bills to beat Mahomes and the Chiefs in the playoffs. I don't know how well that logic would actually hold up, but I'm going to go with it because, well, why not? All right, 2nd and 10. Jones back to pass. Oh, wide open. That beautiful pass to Michael Pittman. And that is an easy first down. Daniel Jones with a perfect pass to basically the only place he could get it. Because Michael Pittman was basically like right on the sideline. But he managed to stay inbounds, and the Colts are on the move yet again. They are at the 50-yard line, or just a little past it, actually. They hand it off with Jonathan Taylor, and Taylor, they are now in in Steelers territory. That was a gain of 3 on the play. 2nd and 7 now for the Colts. And Daniel Jones, I don't know if it's the fact that he got out of New Jersey. Is it that he was with Minnesota for a little bit last season? Or what is, as they run it with Jonathan Taylor, and he's going to get close to a first down on this. A little bit short, actually. So it's 3rd down, 3rd and 1 for the Colts. I would expect them to run it with Jonathan Taylor here. Yep, they do run it with Jonathan Taylor, and they get the first down. They're talking about Phillip Rivers. I'm not exactly sure why, but Phillip Rivers was the quarterback for the Colts for a while. The Colts have been in an interesting spot ever since Andrew Luck unexpectedly retired. They've been trying to find their franchise quarterback. They tried Phillip Rivers. They tried Matt Ryan. They drafted Anthony Richardson, and that didn't really work. Oh, fumble! I think it was TJ Watt, and the Steelers recover. Huge play for TJ Watt. And again, the irony there is JJ Watt is on the call for this game, and TJ Watt is his brother. What a play by TJ Watt. He just blows right by the offensive lineman and knocks the ball away. And they force the fumble. But can Pittsburgh do anything with it offensively? Because they caught a huge break the last time Indianapolis had a mistake and the Colts kept them off the scoreboard. So let's see if the Indy can do it again this time around. But the interesting thing is, since the Colts are 7-1, I've seen most people putting them, in the top 3 of their power rankings, which I understand that. I've seen a couple actually put them at number 1. But if the Super Bowl, or rather, instead of Super Bowl, if you told me next week the Indianapolis Colts were going to play the Detroit Lions, I would take the Lions. 9 out of 10 times, I would take the Lions. If you told, the Rams already beat the Colts this season, but the Rams right now, no. So I would at least put the Lions ahead of the Colts. If Mike Evans was healthy, I would consider putting the Buccaneers ahead of the Colts. But unfortunately, Mike Evans is done for the season, so I can't. But I would at least put the Lions ahead of the Colts. I can't put the Chiefs or Bills ahead of the Colts. I can't put the Broncos ahead of the Colts. I love Drake May and the New England Patriots. I told you earlier, I have Drake May number 1 in terms of MVP right now. But I can't put the Patriots ahead of the Colts either. So right now, I would probably go Lions 1, Colts 2. I would probably go Packers 3, even though the Packers are currently the number 1 seed in all of the NFC, despite having that weird tie against the Dallas Cowboys, which still doesn't make any sense. Again, TJ Watt forced a fumble. That's 24 strip sacks for him. So the Steelers have it near midfield. Rodgers takes the snap, looks to pass, and, makes a man miss, but nothing really. And there's going to be a penalty on this one. I would expect this penalty to be on the Colts. Looks like maybe face mask. Yep, it was face mask against the Colts. So we have about 11 minutes left in the first half. 7-0 Colts. Yep. Kenneth Gainwell got the ball and he just got clocked right in the helmet. So yes, that is most definitely a face mask penalty. So now the Steelers have it in Indianapolis territory. Can they take advantage of this turnover? They run it with Kenneth Gainwell. They seem to be using Gainwell more in the run game rather than Jaylen Warren. But my God, TJ Watt just went right past the Colts offensive lineman. And if Daniel Jones just had a little more time, he could have gotten it out to Tyler Warren, who was wide open. Rodgers back to pass. And Freiermuth catches it. I think that pass might have been tipped. But the Steelers are moving the ball now. Like I said, can they capitalize and turn this turnover into points? It was tipped, but it doesn't matter. Freiermuth still made the catch. screen pass out to Gainwell, I think it is. But the Colts are not fooled, and they get the stop. So we got about 9:50 left in the first half. 7-0 Indianapolis. Like I said, I believe this should be the first two matchups between the Steelers and Colts. They should be playing each other later in the season at Lucas Oil, because the Colts should be in the AFC North. I will continue to say that, but that is not the case. So Steelers have it right now. Ooh, Minnesota's up 14-7 against Detroit right now. So that pass is dropped by DK Metcalf. And so it'll be 3rd and 10 for the Steelers. And it looked like on that play, DK Metcalf was trying to make a play before actually catching the ball, which might have helped. You know, you want to catch the ball and then, well, make a play. But he tried to do the opposite. So Steelers have it 3rd and 10. They're 0 for 2 so far on 3rd downs today. Let's see if they can convert this one. Rodgers back to pass. And they do get the first down on that one. I'm trying to see who that was that caught it. I can't quite tell who that is. Let's see. That's number 19 for the Steelers. Austin. You'll have to forgive me, but I'm not sure who Austin is for the Steelers. I don't think it's Tavon Austin. He's been out of the league for a while. But the Colts are... Shane Steichen has thrown the challenge flag. I think he believes this is short. Let's see. I want to know who Austin is for the Steelers. Again, forgive me. But I want to know who he is. That is Calvin Austin. That's who that is. For the Steelers. That is Calvin Austin. Okay. Okay, so it is Calvin Austin for the Steelers. But the Colts are currently challenging this play. Shane Steichen believes it was not a first down. Oh, they're showing this stupid commercial where the guy forgot to close Bebo's gate. It's an Allstate commercial. It's really stupid. But anyway. Yeah, so in terms of the Browns, they play the New Jersey Jets next week in New Jersey. I don't know how to feel about that game. The Jets just won their first game of the season last week at Cincinnati. They're also on their bye week. So it's interesting that both teams are going to be coming off of their byes. Stefanski has said that Dylan Gabriel will continue to be the starter. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if Shador is starting at some point. Although it seems like Stefanski would rather start thou who shall not be named, number 4. You know who I'm talking about. And we are coming out of commercial break. So let's see what the ruling on the field is. Man, it would be so fun to go to another Steelers game in Pittsburgh. I actually looked into going to the Browns-Steelers game in Pittsburgh earlier this season. So, it was a successful challenge for Indy. So, yeah. Oh, his forearm is down. So, he's short of the first down line. So, Calvin Austin, although he made a nice catch, he was short of the first down. So, I believe that makes it 4th and 1. So let's see what the Steelers elect to do here with just about 9 minutes to go in the first half. And they get the first down. I think. Who did they give the ball to that time? It wasn't Aaron, because he was just kind of standing in the back. Well, either way, the Steelers used the tush push, though not with Aaron Rodgers. I couldn't quite tell who it was, but they handed off. Nope, it's a play action pass, and I have no idea who Aaron was throwing that ball to. So it comes up 2nd down. This season, Steelers ranked 3rd in terms of red zone offense, 73.7, but they are 0 for 1 today. Last season, their touchdown percentage was 48.2. They ranked 29th in the NFL. Like I said, their touchdown percentage this season is 73.7. This drive, they've done 2 rushes, 5 passes, 40 yards, just about 3 minutes. Let's see if the Steelers can convert this TJ Watt fumble into a touchdown. They run it with Jaylen Warren, and that'll bring up 3rd down for the Steelers. It was about a 3-yard gain, so it's 3rd and 7. 8 minutes remaining in the first half between the Steelers and the Colts. Indianapolis is up 7-0. Colts are trying to improve to 8-1. And if the Steelers lose, they would fall to 4-4, which pretty much is on par for them. Because Mike Tomlin, since he's become the head coach, never had a losing season. They've always been either right at 500 or just about above 500. It's Calvin Austin again converting the first down. And they pick up the first, and now it's 1st and goal for the Steelers. Let's watch this play. Yeah, that's a nice help assist by Pat Freiermuth. He kind of cleared the area out by taking 2 defenders. It looked like he almost took 2 defenders with him. So now the Steelers have it at about the 6-yard line or so. Play action. Rodgers, he might try to run this in himself. He does not get there. Ooh, Tennessee's up 14-10 right now. Green Bay's up 3-0 against Carolina. That's a bit of a trap game because Green Bay hosts Philadelphia on Monday Night Football next week. San Francisco is up 14-7 against what's left of the New York Giants. Patriots are up 14-7 against the Atlanta Falcons. I'm surprised I didn't hear more 28-3 jokes this week. Titans are up 14-10 against Chargers. Interesting. But Steelers have it rather on the 1-yard line, and Pittsburgh calls timeout. It is 2nd and goal for the Steelers. 6:16 left in the first half. Arthur Smith, of course, is the offensive coordinator for the Steelers, the former head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. And prior to that, I believe he was the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans. But here we go. 2nd and goal for Pittsburgh. Arthur Smith, like I said, this is his 2nd season as the Steelers offensive coordinator. Yes, he was the Atlanta head coach from 2021 to 2023. So let's see what Arthur Smith draws up here. They have 0 rushing touchdowns since week 4. And I'm talking about the Steelers here. Pass. Incomplete. He tried to get it to DK Metcalf on a quick pass, but Jalen Jones saw it coming and he breaks it up. Very nice play by Jalen Jones there defensively for the Colts. The Steelers have to get this touchdown, have to get a touchdown on this drive. A field goal is not going to be enough. They've rushed it 4 times. They passed it 7 times for 55 yards, and this drive has taken up over 5 minutes. And touchdown, Pittsburgh. Jalen Warren gets it in. That's the Steelers' first rushing touchdown since week 4. Let me say that again. That is the Steelers' first rushing touchdown since week 4. Let's see a replay just to make sure he broke the plane. He did. So that is a touchdown for the Steelers. So the Steelers cash in on the forced fumble by TJ Watt. And this game is all tied up. 7-7 now. That is Jalen Warren's first rushing touchdown since week 12 of last season. Kick is up, and the extra point is good. And with 6:09 remaining in the second quarter, this game is tied 7-7. And what set this whole drive up for the Steelers? Why, it was TJ Watt forcing a fumble. What else new? And Jalen Warren finishes it off. We are tied 7-7. I knew this was going to be a great game, and that's why I chose to do a live stream. I haven't done a live stream like this during a game reaction for the NFL since, God, it has to have been at least 5 years since I last did one. I know I did a live stream at the end of the Packers-Browns game, but I mean an actual game live stream like what I'm doing right now. I'll even look this up because I'm just genuinely curious. Let's see. The last time I did this live stream or a live stream like this was let's see. I'm having to scroll a lot. Let's see. Has to have been at least 6 years ago? Yeah. That's what it looks like. The last time I did an actual live stream like this was 6 years ago. That is crazy. 6 years ago was the last time I did a live stream like that. And it's all been for the Cleveland Browns. And so today, since the Browns are on their bye week, I figured let's change it up. And I figured Steelers Colts seemed like a good option. So that's why I chose to do it, in case you were wondering. But so Steelers about to kick it off back to the Colts. And halftime is quickly approaching. That's probably where I will end this live stream. I think this is only going to be for the first half today. But anyway, so getting back into the swing of things. Sorry, I was just posting posting super quick. Actually, I guess I should have tweeted about this beforehand. My God, they already put out way too early MLB predictions. The Dodgers have ruined baseball for me. They are the evil empire. They won their second straight World Series last night in Game 7 in 11 innings, thanks to Will Smith's game-winning home run in the top of the inning. But yeah, the Dodgers are the evil empire. I can't stand them. But anyway, enough about that because it's not baseball season anymore. Daniel Jones back to pass. Intercepted. Wilson with the interception. And the Colts immediately turn it over again. Holy smokes. What is happening to the Indianapolis Colts right now? That is Peyton Wilson making the interception. I'm not exactly sure who Daniel Jones was throwing that ball to. But here's the question. Pittsburgh was able to capitalize on the previous turnover with Daniel Jones fumbled it and TJ Watt recovered. Can they capitalize on this one? We got 5:12 left in the first half. Steelers and Colts are tied 7-7, but the Steelers have it deep in Colts territory. Rodgers takes the snap, hands it off, and they pick up a couple, but not much. And here's another update. It is from the Chargers and Titans. Quentin Johnston with the touchdown catch, and the Chargers retake the lead 17-14. So Tennessee playing up a little bit of a fight. That team is in even worse position than the Browns, which is not something I'd be saying. I thought I'd be saying because the Browns are in terrible positioning right now. But anyway, Rodgers out of the shotgun pass. It's caught. Pat Freiermuth. And it's touchdown Pittsburgh. And the Steelers cash in right away on the interception. And they go up 13-7 against the Colts. What a catch by Pat Freiermuth. Oh, they might review this. I think he's a little short. Unless that ball crossed the goal line first. That's his third receiving touchdown this season, all in the last 3 games. Of course, I'm referring to Pat Freiermuth. They are not going to review this, so the touchdown will stand. And the Steelers go up 13-7. And Steelers kick the extra point, and they go up 14-7 against the Indianapolis Colts. So back-to-back turnovers by the Daniel Jones turn into touchdowns for the Steelers. You can't give the Steelers hope like life if you're the Colts. If you want to be viewed as a legitimate Super Bowl contender or a legitimate threat in the AFC and be put in the same conversation with the Chiefs and the Bills, and I would even say the Patriots, you can't be turning the ball over like the Colts have on these last 2 possessions. And yes, like I said, I would put the Patriots in the conversation with the Bills and the Chiefs. If the Chiefs and the Patriots played each other in New England, I would actually take New England to beat the Chiefs. Now, if they were to play each other in Kansas City, yeah, I would have to take the Chiefs. Well, unless you're talking about 2018, which, looking back, those were the two evil empires playing each other. So, really, America lost in that game. But that Super Bowl should not have been Patriots Rams. First of all, the New Orleans Saints got absolutely hosed in that game in the NFC Championship because this is what the ref was doing. There was no pass interference. I didn't see anything. Yeah, I still don't get it. And my God, they're already showing Christmas commercials. But then again, they were showing Christmas commercials even before Halloween was over. Well, why was Blake Griffin in a Wayfair commercial? I can't explain that one. So let's see. The Colts are about to get the ball back, down 14-7 now. They already have 3 takeaways today. In their last 3 games, they had 0. The Colts so far in the season had 4 giveaways. Today, they already have 3, and the Steelers have cashed them in for 14 points. Of course, on the first turnover, the Steelers couldn't convert as they went for it on the 4th down and were held out of the end zone. But these last 2, the TJ Watt fumble and now the interception, the Steelers have punched it into the end zone, and now they lead 14-7 with 4 minutes remaining in the first half. And I think, yes, I will end this live stream at the end of the first half because I have to get going for work. I work at Rocket Arena for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they are taking on the Atlanta Hawks tonight. Hawks will be without Trae Young. But Tyler Warren, who I think right now is the leading candidate for Rookie of the Year, ironically, I thought it would be Travion Henderson, the running back out of Ohio State. That looked like it should have been a horse collar tackle on Wilson, but they don't call it. Play action. Daniel Jones back to pass. Deep ball. Alec Pierce can't quite haul it in. 3rd down and 3. 3.5 minutes to go here in the first half. And Auburn has fired Hugh Freeze. My God, this coaching cycle is going to be crazy for college football. And oh no, CJ Stroud just got injured, and Davis Mills is in at quarterback for the Houston Texans. Oh no. But the pass is broken up for Daniel Jones, and it is 4th down. So this Colts offense, which had been firing on all cylinders, is getting stymied a little bit by this Steelers defense. And Pittsburgh seems to have, and JJ Watt is talking about, they have simplified their offense. They seem to be playing a lot faster. And they force Indianapolis into a 3-and-out. Although I don't know if they're actually going to punt it. Let's see. Yes, they actually do punt it this time. Williams gets it and can't really do anything with it. So we have just about 3 minutes to go in the first half. Thank you to everyone who has tuned into this live stream, by the way. I do appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying it. If you have enjoyed this live stream and if you like the other content on this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also click that like button. I'm thinking about changing my taglines in terms of that, because right now my tagline is punch that subscribe button like a UFC fighter and hit the like button with the Judas effect, courtesy of Chris Jericho. But I'm thinking about changing that to slam that subscribe button like Gronk and dunk on that like button like Wemby. What do you think? Slam that subscribe button like Gronk and dunk on that like button like Wemby. What do you think? Or should I make it more Cleveland based, since I do a lot of Browns content and Cavaliers content? Or do you like the idea of going with Wemby and Gronk? I know Gronk is retired, but almost every time he got a touchdown, he spiked the ball. So maybe it should be spike that subscribe button like Gronk. But what do you think? That's what I'm thinking, at least right now. All right. Saints, Rams, Jaguars, Raiders. Neither of those games really sound good. And the Monday night game sounds terrible for this week. Arizona at Dallas. And oh God, Thursday night football is Raiders at Broncos. Jeez. But yeah, like I said, the story so far for today between the Steelers and Colts has been the takeaways. Pittsburgh has already forced 3 of them, and the Steelers have punched 2 of them in for touchdowns. They already have 3 turnovers today. This season they had 4. Let's see what the Steelers do with this latest possession. With 3:19 left in the first half, they run it. Jalen Warren with a nice run. We've now hit the 3-minute mark of the first half. And it'll be 2nd and 2, so a gain of 8 on that first possession, or first play, rather. As we are now under the 3-minute mark. Steelers, rather, at about their own 26 or 27. They run it with Jalen Warren, and I think he got enough for the first down. It certainly looks like he got enough for the first down anyway. But yes, it was enough for the first down, and we are coming up on the 2-minute warning. So let's see if the Steelers even try to run a play. Terrell Austin, this is his 4th season as the Steelers defensive coordinator. He's been with the team since 2019, and they will not get the playoffs. So we have hit the 2-minute warning. Steelers are up 14-7, and they have it 1st and 10. And for the most part, this Steelers defense has kept the high-flying Colts offense in check, which is very surprising, as my bearded dragon Zuko is going absolutely crazy. As I said yesterday, the reason I named him Zuko is because Grease is my all-time favorite musical. He is my second bearded dragon. My first one was named Sandy. I had her for 12 or 13 years. I got her when I was a sophomore in high school. And at the time when I got her, I was actually performing in Greece as Sunny. I've been in that show twice. Once I was Sunny, and the other time I was Eugene. And because Sandy was the name of my first beauty, I wanted to keep the Grease theme going. If I had gotten a female, I would have named her Rizzo. But since this is a male, I decided to name him Zuko. I would take him out and bring him on camera, but he's a little wild right now. Almost a year old at this point, but he's still a little crazy. So as of right now, not quite ready for me to put him on air, but maybe in a later live stream, we shall see. But nonetheless, like I said, the Colts are 7-1 and sit atop the AFC. Are they actually the best team in the AFC? That remains to be seen because you still have Mahomes around. Lamar Jackson is coming back. The Ravens look like they're back on track. And you still have Buffalo. New England is in the mix. So we shall see. And of course, from the AFC West, along with the Chiefs, you have the Broncos and the Chargers. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. For Halloween, the CBS crew for this game did like a whole spoof and they dressed up like Iron Eagle and JJ Watt. But anyway, it's first and 10 now for the Steelers. 2 minutes to go. Aaron Rodgers back to pass. It is complete to Kenneth Gainwell, and they pick up the first down, and the clock keeps moving. So we are at now a minute 40 left in the first half. And yeah, if I'm the Steelers, JJ Watt just said, I want to run this clock out as much as I can. And try and get points going into the locker room, especially because the Colts get the ball to start the second half. Rodgers pass. That pass was intended for Calvin Austin, but it falls incomplete. So it is 2nd and 10. I think that's a bad choice in play calling. I would just run the hell out of the ball right now. You're up 14-7. You have the ball. You don't want to give the Colts the ball back. Indianapolis has all 3 timeouts left. Pittsburgh has 2. If I'm the Steelers, I am just running this ball the entire rest of this drive. But here we go. Rodgers back to pass. It is caught. And Freiermuth makes the catch and he steps out of bounds. So a minute 11 left in the first half. 3rd down coming up for the Steelers. So 3rd and 2 now for the Steelers. Like I said, a minute 11. Third and 2 now for the Steelers. Run. They run it. And Kenneth Gainwell picks up the first down. And there's just about a minute left in the first half. And we got a bit of a skirmish. And now there's a penalty. And the new AP poll is out. Ohio State is number 1, no surprise. Indiana is number 2. Texas A&M number 3. Alabama 4. Georgia 5, Oregon 6, Ole Miss 7. BYU has moved up to number 8. Texas Tech has moved up to number 9. That's where College Game Day will be this week in Lubbock, Texas for a top 10 showdown. Number 8 against number 9. Notre Dame is number 10. Oklahoma, after their big win in Tennessee, they move all the way up to number 11. Virginia moves up to number 12. Texas jumps all the way up to number 13. Louisville is 14. Vanderbilt falls from number 9 down to number 15. Georgia Tech falls from number 8 down to number 16. Utah moves up to number 17 after being ranked 24th. Miami drops from number 10 down to number 18. Missouri holds at number 19. USC moves up from number 23 to number 20. Michigan stays at number 21. Memphis jumps up to number 22. Tennessee falls to number 23. Washington goes from being not ranked to number 24, and Cincinnati falls from number 17 to number 25. So that is your bit of college football during this Colts Steelers live stream. Hope you're enjoying it. 57 seconds left, and Rodgers' pass is dropped. I believe there was a penalty on the Colts because there was a bit of a skirmish. And of course, the halftime report is coming up, but like I said, I'm most likely going to end this live stream today at halftime. The CBS Sports crew today are in Buffalo for that massive Chiefs-Bills game. But nonetheless, 55 seconds left. 14-7 Steelers. Steelers have it at about the 28 or 29 yard line. Pass is complete to Jonnu Smith, and the clock continues to run. 40 seconds left. Doesn't look like they're going to take the timeout. They're going. They huddled for like 2 seconds. 30 seconds left. Can the Steelers punch this ball into the end zone and go up 21-7? Rodgers back to pass. Looking. And Jonnu Smith with the catch, but there is a penalty on the play. I think it's going to be a flag on the Colts, though. Yep, it's a holding penalty against the Colts. So that'll be an automatic first down for the Steelers. And we've got 15 seconds left in the first half. Steelers up 14-7. 15 seconds remaining. So 15 seconds left. They're at about the 13 yard line, I would say. I would expect the Steelers to just take 3 shots at the end zone. On this first down, Rodgers sacked on the play. I would expect Pittsburgh to use one of their 2 timeouts. They do. So 10 seconds remaining. 14-7. Second down coming up. Went for the pump fake, and, well, there was no escaping on that one. So 14-7. So let's see what the Steelers decide to draw up on this play. Ten seconds remaining. Steelers have one timeout left, so if you really want to, I guess you could try running it. But they're not. They're it's 2nd and 15 now, so I don't think running is really going to do anything. And there's a flag, and it's a false start against the Steelers. So now you really have to pass it. Calvin Austin called for the false start. So if nothing else, they're going to get a field goal out of this and go up 7, most likely, and go up 17-7. But there are 10 seconds remaining in the first half. Like I said, Steelers are up 14-7. Colts are basically playing a prevent defense. There's nobody at the line. They get it to Calvin Austin, and there are 3 seconds left on the clock. 3rd down coming up for the Steelers. And I would expect them to go for the field goal to close out the half. And it looks like that is exactly what they will do. Boswell's coming out onto the field. Yep, Boswell going for the field goal. He is 14 of 16 on the season. His long this season is 60 yards. It should be pretty standard, though. 25 yards. And the kick is good. And the Steelers go up 17-7 at the end of the first half. It is now halftime. And that is going to do it for this live stream. Maybe we'll do a full game live stream down the road. But for now, the Steelers are up 17-7 going into halftime. The Colts will get it coming out of the break, but I will not be streaming for the second half. I apologize. But again, at the end of the first half, Steelers 17, Colts 7. I'm Unger to the Max. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.